Consider that your breath is not merely a tool for staying alive, but the very medium of your connection to life itself. There is a profound insight that helps us understand why we often feel stagnant, no matter how much we work on ourselves, and why simply forcing new thoughts is a futile effort. The moment you grasp what is truly happening, your breath ceases to be for survival alone. It becomes the instrument through which your reality is shaped. And then everything shifts. Now, here is what is truly remarkable about this understanding. Each day, we take countless breaths, most without any awareness at all. We are carried away by our tasks, lost in thoughts of tomorrow, replaying old conversations, sitting in traffic with rising frustration. We seldom ask why the world outside seems to be a mirror of our inner disturbance. We attempt to mend our external conditions instead of transforming the source from which these conditions arise. When you react to life's challenges from a place of emotional turmoil, you simply invite more of the same patterns to return. This happens because we forget that our breath communicates our inner state to the space immediately around us. This is also why many find that just thinking positively or visualizing is not enough. But there is a fundamental principle of existence that changes our perspective. When you realize each breath creates an energy, a presence, that can either support the life you wish to build or weaken it, you can cease fighting with what is. You begin to shape your reality from a place of inner stillness. I wish to share a simple path of awareness that can guide you from being someone who is pulled by the currents of life to one who is a centered participant in its flow. And through this, you can find a quiet space of inner pause, a space that allows you to become the calm presence that brings harmony to your world, rather than being swept away by its tides. Every unconscious breath you draw is a forgotten chance to gently attune to your existence. Many of us let these chances pass by, one after another, all day long. At the moment of your birth, you did not think your way into this world. You arrived with a breath. Your very first act was not a thought, not a word, not even a sound. It was an inhale. Your being entered this experience not with complex ideas or cleverness, but through the simple, profound rhythm of your own breathing. In that primal moment, you embodied a wisdom you may have since forgotten. Breath is the very bridge between your current self and the potential within. But somewhere on life's path, we learned to breathe from a place of mechanics, not from our true essence. We began to draw breath from a space of survival, not from the soul. Take this moment right now and gently notice your breath. From where does it arise? If you are like most, it may be shallow and quick, high in your chest. This can be seen as mechanical breathing. It sustains the body, but it can leave your spirit feeling unfazed. Ancient wisdom traditions understood something we are now rediscovering. Across cultures and time, breath was seen as something far more than a biological process. These traditions recognized it as the delicate thread weaving together the seen world and the unseen, the physical form and the formless space, the human and the universal. Within this understanding, conscious breathing was never just an exercise. It was a gateway. Sages taught that each breath held the capacity to illuminate different aspects of our awareness. They found that conscious breath could not only shift your inner landscape, but also influence the quality of your entire experience. This was not a poetic idea. They understood that when you breathe with intention, you are not merely moving air. You are inviting life, forced to move through you. Reflect on this. Every feeling you have known, every choice you have made, every moment of clarity and every moment of confusion has been paired with its own unique pattern of breathing. When you feel anxious, your breath naturally quickens and rises. When you feel peaceful, it naturally deepens and slows. Your breath is not just a reflection of your state, it is an active shaper of it. The distinction between mechanical and mindful breathing is presence. Mechanical breathing happens via to you. Mindful breathing happens through you, with you as an aware participant in this silent dialogue between your inner world and the life that surrounds you. When you start to breathe with gentle purpose, with presence, With respect for this simple gift, something extraordinary begins to unfold. You cease to be a passive vessel for whatever comes your way, and you become a centered presence that brings quality to your own experience. This is when the breath finds its sacredness, because every inhale and exhale from that space is no longer just keeping you alive. It is keeping you aligned with life itself. What I am about to share is a simple insight that can change your relationship with your mind. You may believe you are in control of your thoughts, yet often we are their prisoner. Most of us live our days believing we are the voice in our heads. We awaken, and the inner narrative starts at once. What must I do today? I'm behind schedule. I wonder about yesterday's meeting. I should look at my phone. We assume this inner chatter is our identity. But what if this voice is not truly who you are? Right now, as you continue here, I invite you to do something very simple. Return your awareness to your breath. But this time, do not try to alter it. Simply be with it. Feel the gentle current of air entering, filling your being, and then softly returning to the world. As you rest in this observation, something remarkable occurs. You are becoming the witness of your breath, not just the one who is breathing. Now, while being with your breath, gently notice what your mind is doing. It might offer commentary, "This is odd," or "I am not doing it correctly," or "How much longer?" Here lies a beautiful insight. If you are able to observe these thoughts as they arise and fade, then you cannot be them. You are the one who is watching. This is the awakening of the observer self, the dimension of your being that resides beyond the constant flow of mental commentary. Imagine yourself sitting peacefully by the bank of a river. Your thoughts are like the water flowing by. At times, the current is calm and gentle. At other times, it is a rushing torrent. But you, your true self, are resting on the solid ground, watching it all unfold. You are not the river. You are the stillness that perceives the river. Ancient wisdom often uses the metaphor of the sky and the clouds. Your thoughts are like clouds drifting through the vast, open sky of your consciousness. Some are dark and heavy, filled with worry, fear, or doubt. Others are light and soft, filled with joy, inspiration, or hope. But notice this profound truth. The sky itself is never harmed by the clouds. It remains open, spacious, and unchanged, whether the weather is stormy or clear. This observer consciousness is your inherent nature. It is the part of you that has been here since you were a child. It is the part that will be with you until your very last breath. It is the witness, the awareness, the quiet presence that has watched your entire life happen. Your mind, the voice that seems to never cease, wants you to believe that it is the one in charge. It weaves complex narratives about who you are, what your path must be, how others perceive you. It lives in constant judgment of the past and a state of unease about the future. But the observer rests only in this moment, in the eternal now, where all your real strength is found. When you start to identify more with this observer and less with the restless mind, a profound shift happens. You cease to be reactive and instead become responsive. Instead of being swept away by every feeling or idea, you can watch them emerge, acknowledge their presence, and choose your path. Here is where your true freedom begins. The breath becomes your anchor, it connecting you to this observer consciousness. Each time you guide your attention back to your breath, you are returning home to who you truly are. You are stepping out of the theater of your mind and into the peace of pure awareness. This is not merely a spiritual idea. It relates to the very nature of things. A deep principle of existence is that the quality of our observation influences what we experience. When you become a calm, aware observer of your inner world, you gain the ability to bring harmony to your outer world. Have you ever known a moment when time itself seemed to pause? Perhaps during an emergency, or while holding someone dear. Concealed within the space of your breath is a silent gateway where you can attune yourself to a different reality. But most people pass it by, completely unaware. Those instances when time felt suspended were not random events. They were tastes of what is possible when you slip into the stillness between thoughts, between heartbeats, and between breaths. In that quiet interval, you made contact with something timeless, something outside the normal stream of time. You discovered the sacred pause. Draw in a breath right now. This time, bring your attention not just to the inhale and the exhale, but to the quiet transition points between them. There is a brief but deep moment when everything is still. Your lungs are full, just before you begin to release. And then, at the end of the exhale, another quiet pause before the next cycle begins. These are not empty spaces. They are sacred gateways. Ancient traditions held this insight in high regard. Masters taught their students to enter these quiet gaps with their full awareness. They saw them as a resting place of stillness, where the creative source rests between its cycles. These were not just breathing exercises. They were practices in accessing the field of quiet potential that is present in every moment of stillness. These masters knew what modern insights are now affirming: in the space between one state and another, new possibilities can arise. It is like the silence between the notes of a beautiful song. Without that silent pause, there would be no melody, no beauty, only a stream of noise. Your breath offers the same sacred rhythm for your life. In this sacred pause, something remarkable takes place. Your ordinary mental chatter softens. The constant flow of "I should," "I must," "I need" grows quiet. And within that silence, a clear, calm intention can form. Not the agitated desire of the ego, but the deep knowing of your inner wisdom. It is here that your deepest truths stop being abstract wishes and become a guiding presence in your life. Think of this pause as the womb of creation itself. Just as life grows in the dark, quiet sanctuary of a mother's womb, your own inner growth and intentions require this sacred quietude to find their form. Wise teachers spoke of this as the eye of the needle, a small, focused point through which great things must pass to become real. Most people hurry past these quiet moments. They breathe quickly, think without rest, and are always moving towards what is next. But when you learn to settle into the pause, when you can be at peace in the space between what has been and what will be, you discover this is where true strength resides. It is not about forcing anything or holding your breath. It is about learning to be present with the natural flow of your own being. And in that simple presence, you touch the place where your inner truth meets the field of boundless possibility. In the sacred pause, you are not attempting to control life. You are entering into communion with it. But accessing this stillness is just the beginning. There is a deeper wisdom waiting to be awakened. For years, your body has been communicating with you, sending signals that often go unheard. These unheeded messages can create inner blockages that prevent your full expression. The deeper awakening I speak of is not found by reaching for higher ideas. It is discovered by journeying inward, by descending from the busy mind into the quiet landscape of your own body. Just as ancient cultures erected great temples to honor the sacred, you too can cultivate an inner temple, not with stone or wood, but with the simple tools of breath and awareness. Consider the great sacred structures of the world, the ancient temples, the quiet monasteries, spaces where people have gathered for ages to touch something beyond themselves. Their design was not random. Every column had a purpose. Every chamber was designed to channel a certain quality of energy. Your body is the same. It is already a temple. Yet many of us have not learned to dwell in it with awareness. Ancient wisdom traditions understood this in a profound way. They saw the human body as a living sanctuary with different areas corresponding to different aspects of consciousness. They knew that the breath was the very key that could unlock these inner rooms, revealing not only your inner strength, but also the stories and patterns stored within your body's own memory. As you begin to breathe with more attention, you might notice interesting feelings arise. Certain parts of your body might feel tense or unavailable to your awareness. Perhaps your shoulders hold the weight of duties you have carried for many years. Maybe your chest feels shielded, protecting a heart that once learned to close itself off. Perhaps your stomach holds the tightness of unease about what is to come. or your throat might feel constricted, holding back words that were never given a voice. These are not just physical feelings. They are your life story held within you. Your body has kept a record of your journey, storing the energetic traces of every experience within its tissues. The tightness in your chest may hold a grief that was never fully released. The tension in your shoulders could be from carrying burdens that were not yours to carry. But here is the transformative power of mindful breathing. It doesn't just show you these patterns, it helps them gently dissolve. Each conscious breath acts like a soft wave, washing through your inner temple, clearing all dust, opening pathways, and restoring the natural flow of energy that wants to move freely. Imagine, with each breath, moving gently through the levels of your inner sanctuary. As you breathe into your chest, you are visiting the heart space, the center of love, connection, and emotional knowing. As your breath moves deeper into your belly, you are entering the chamber of stability and intuition, where your deepest guidance resides. With each mindful breath, you are not just watching these spaces. You are tending to them, honoring them, and reclaiming them as your own. Wise builders align their temples with the great forces of nature, creating structures that could channel cosmic energy. Through conscious breathing, you are doing the very same with your own body. You are aligning your inner architecture with the gentle frequencies of peace, love, and quiet strength that wish to flow through you. This path is not about judging your body or forcing it to be different. It is about learning to fully inhabit it, to honor the deep intelligence that has always been guiding you, and to gently clear the energetic knots that have held back your fullest self. Once your inner temple is tended to, something truly remarkable starts to happen to the world around you. The quality of your breath creates an energy that extends into the space around your body, meaning you are constantly influencing the world around you with your inner state. That remarkable thing that unfolds around you is not merely a poetic idea. It can be directly experienced. There is a growing understanding that the quality of your inner state generates an energy field that radiates far beyond your physical self. This field changes dramatically depending on the quality of your breathing. When your breath is erratic, shallow, or rooted in stress, your presence carries that same unsettled energy into the space it occupies. But when your breath becomes coherent, deep, and calm, your presence becomes a source of harmony that others can often feel without words. Imagine your presence is like the surface of a quiet pond. When you breathe from a place of agitation or rushing thoughts, you are like someone disturbing the water, sending out ripples of chaos that touch everything nearby. But when you breathe from the calm center we have been exploring, you become like a great mountain reflected perfectly on the water's still surface, grounded, serene, and profoundly peaceful. Have you ever entered a space and felt a sense of ease or disquiet before a single word was spoken? Have you noticed how some people seem to carry a feeling of peace with them, while others seem to emanate turmoil? This is not just your imagination. It is the palpable effect of another's inner state. We are all continuously sharing our inner world through the rhythm and quality of our breath, and others receive these signals, whether they are aware of it or not. Children are particularly open to these energetic states. They have not yet learned to suppress their natural intuition, so they often respond immediately to the energy we radiate. When a parent breathes with anxiety, a child may become agitated without knowing why. But when that same parent takes a few intentional breaths to find their center, the child often settles down naturally, as if by magic. This effect touches every single interaction you have. When you breathe with presence before a difficult conversation, you are not just calming yourself. You are creating a stable, energetic space that can hold whatever needs to be shared. When you enter your workplace grounded in your breath, you subtly contribute to a more peaceful atmosphere, making it easier for genuine creativity and connection to flourish. The beautiful truth in understanding this is realizing how deeply interconnected we are. You are not an isolated being trying to improve your own existence in a vacuum. You are part of a vast network of consciousness, and every single breath you take with awareness adds to the collective field of peace and potential on this earth. But this influence is not something you need to manage or force. It arises naturally when you focus on tending to your own inner temple. This field responds to authenticity, not to performance. When you breathe from a real place of presence and stillness, that genuineness radiates outward without any extra effort. This is why ancient teachings often spoke of the truly awakened one as a person who serves the world simply by their being. They understood that consciousness itself is infectious, that inner peace is magnetic, and that one person breathing from their true center can shift the energy of an entire gathering. You have taken a great journey without leaving your chair, not across distant lands, but through the deep layers of your own being, through rhythm, through stillness, and through observation. The most effective people in history mastered one art you may never have been taught: how to access a great strength through absolute stillness. And on this journey through the self, you have found an understanding that our busy world often tries to make us forget. Sometimes the most powerful act is to simply be still. We are part of a culture that celebrates constant action, that tells us more effort will bring more reward, that keeps us endlessly striving, pushing toward the next achievement. But the universe, the very fabric of reality that responds to your inner state, works by different principles. Life does not respond to how hard you push. It responds to how aligned you are. It is not concerned with your list of tasks or your long-term plans. It is sensitive to your state of being, your coherence, your inner frequency. And the most coherent state you can cultivate is one of deep stillness. Not the stillness of fatigue or surrender, but the powerful stillness of a mountain. Consider a mountain for a moment. It seems to be perfectly still, yet its strength is immense. It does not fight against the storm, it lets the storm pass over it. It does not chase the sun, it simply receives the light. Rivers part and flow around it. The seasons change upon its face. Yet through it all, it remains centered in its own vast presence. This is the quality of stillness that can gently shift worlds. When you learn to breathe into this mountain, like stillness, something incredible unfolds. Life begins to harmonize around you, rather than feeling like a force against you. Opportunities that you could not have forced into existence start to emerge naturally. The right people may appear on your path at precisely the right time. Solutions to long-held challenges suddenly become clear. This is not some kind of magic. It is a law of nature. When you are in a state of stillness and inner coherence, you no longer emanate the unsettled energy of desperation or control. Instead, you radiate the clear presence of trust, openness, and alignment. Life responds to this clarity by organizing itself to match your state. Think of the very center of a great storm. All around it, destructive winds swirl with tremendous force. Chaos is everywhere, yet at the core, there is perfect calm, absolute stillness. And from that calm center, the entire system is organized. This is the quality of stillness you can cultivate inside yourself. It is not the stillness of resignation, but the stillness of one who has learned to be the harmonizing principle of their own life. The difference between control and alignment becomes deeply clear in this stillness. Control is the attempt to force outer conditions to match your desires. Alignment is the art of allowing your inner harmony to attract external harmony. Control is tiring, for you are constantly struggling against the natural flow of life. Alignment is effortless, because you are moving with that flow. When you breathe with awareness, when you rest in the sacred pause, when you inhabit your inner temple fully, you are not trying to make things happen. You are allowing them to happen through you. You become a clear channel through which the wisdom of life can express itself. This does not mean becoming passive. True stillness is profoundly alive and deeply aware. It is the stillness of a master archer at the very moment before releasing the arrow, perfectly focused, entirely present, and completely ready for what will unfold. From this place, your actions become both effortless and truly effective, because they arise from alignment, not from strain. As you prepare to leave this space of reflection, carry this quiet rhythm with you. You now return not to the person you were, but to the one you have always been. Beneath the noise, the breath brought you to this place. And now it illuminates the final truth. Stillness is not the absence of power. Stillness is power itself. You have journeyed through the sacred art of breathing, finding that your countless daily breaths are not simple functions, but boundless opportunities for mindful creation. You have awakened the silent observer within you, the timeless part of you that sees thoughts as clouds passing across a limitless sky. In the sacred pause between each breath, you discovered the quiet gateway where intention finds its true form. By learning to build your inner temple, you've understood that your body is a living sanctuary, holding the stories of your life and offering a path to wholeness. You have discovered that your very presence creates a field of energy around you, making you a constant source of either peace or chaos for all you meet. And at last, you have touched the profound wisdom that the most powerful state is often one of quiet stillness, allowing life to arrange itself around your coherent being, rather than you trying to force your will upon it. There will be times when the world's currents pull at you, when emotions cloud your view, when your thoughts begin to race. In those moments, remember the most direct path back home is always the breath. 3 intentional breaths can return you to the seat of the observer. 1 quiet pause between them can reconnect you with the field of potential. A single moment of stillness can restore the harmony of your inner temple. This is not about achieving perfection. It is simply about returning again and again. Each time you remember to breathe with awareness, you are not just improving your day, you are reshaping your reality from the inside out. You become a living example that our consciousness, not our circumstances, is the true creative force. Now, as you move back into your day, take this quiet rhythm with you. Let your breath be your anchor. Let stillness be your strength. Let your awareness accompany you in every word, every choice, and every pause. So, breathe, not to survive, but to remember. Not to escape, but to embody. Not to control, but to create. The breath is the guide. You are the gateway. Step through